Two of our kababayans are raising the flag in Australia with their bold and modern take on Filipino cuisine. Let's find out how they're redefining Filipino food in the land down under, one plate at a time. Joining us today are chefs Michael Pastrana and Morris Danzen Catanghal and their manager, Raine Laysico. It's a beautiful day. I hope I didn't scare you guys with my Australian accent because Paolo was floored. I clearly killed it. He compared to him this morning.
Killed me.
Anyway, I love the name Adobros. I was thinking, Anne, if ever we do like a show, we can be the Adosis.
Maybe.
Does that work? I like it though. How
No,
did you?
you'll be
we can-
sisig.
Or
Oh.
sisnigan.
That's a good one. Oh my gosh, y'all are so good at coming up with these names.
No, you're just terrible.
Si Paolo talaga today.
We were actually wondering if you were
Friday.
bringing adobo today.
Yeah, you know what? I thought you guys
Yeah.
were gonna do like different spins on adobo, but how did y'all come up with the name Adobros?
That's a long story. It started out with a beer. You know, we ended up hanging out in one bar in Melbourne, and we started sharing our stories with each other. And because I was coming in from Italy before going to Australia, and we're sharing the same mission and vision, same with our experiences in life. And I said, hey, why don't we do a podcast or something, or let's do it together. I think it would work out, and it would be better to do it together.
And it naging siyang Adobros because we are thinking, what's our common ground? I think it's adobo, and then sabi, why bros?
Yeah.
Sino ang nanay nyo? Inang bayan ng aming nanay. So it become adobo.
That's
So
nice.
adobo runs in our blood.
Our blood's adobo sauce, right?
Oh, we are
Salty.
and sweet. Depends on where you're from. That's so, right? Depends on the region you're from.
Yeah.
But first off, Raine, I want to congratulate you guys first because you were recently awarded
Yes.
something here from the DTI. Can you tell us a bit more about this latest
Right.
accolade for you guys?
So it's a special recognition because prior to me being a manager of Adobros, I am actually a writer, a journalist, and an advocate in Australia for the last 2 decades. So we've been championing and writing about Filipino stories. And it just so happened that one of the best things, because I've been a migrant for 20 years now, and one of the best things when I first started was to look for our food overseas. So, and I've just been so privileged that DTI and the people at CITEM and IFEX has recognized that together with the current greats, Erwan and Abby. So it's a wonderful opportunity, and it's really to shine a light on Filipino food globally and to invite everyone to IFEX as well. So yeah, thank you so much, Paolo.
Chef Michael and Chef Morris, did you grow up here in the Philippines?
Yes.
Yes.
I came from Kalumpit, Bulacan originally, and he's from.
I'm from Lucena, Quezon Province.
So which part of your Filipino upbringing, influenced your cooking style?
For cooking, for me, I think yung upbringing na more on the warm side with the family. You always wanting to share the table, the food with the family, friends, and a little bit strict sometimes.
You know, what I like about the story, so syempre nag-originate kayo dito sa Pilipinas. I mean, like, you sound like it because Raine sounds like she's been out for 20 years.
Yeah, we heard Australian accent.
I know, but I love it. I love it. I love the accent. But apart from that, you mentioned you came from Italy first.
Yeah.
I mean, it feels very global, yung experience ninyo. How do you translate yung Filipino food to more foreign palates? Because, as I'm sure you know, just the storytelling of it and introducing something very foreign to other people, it's a bit difficult because it looks different. But let's start off with the both of you first. Like, how do you translate that?
For me, you need to know first their palate and how you present the food in a way that they can appreciate your flavors and all that, but without ruining the soul of the dish. You know.
How do you find the soul?
the soul is, I think, your values in cooking. It's not only the taste, but the whole experience itself. And with Filipino food, you need to be generous. Minsan sabi ko nga, sarapan mo lang.
What I like is you're an accounting graduate, tama ba?
Yes,
You did accounting also.
management accounting.
Yeah. Does that make it easier, Raine, managing these two?
I think it's easier in a way because you don't really walang away in when it comes to the purity of the cuisine, right?
okay.
Because we have common ground. We all love the Philippines. We love to share our culture and tell our stories because food connects everyone.
That's
Yeah.
true.
That's the main thing.
I
yeah.
want to follow up on Paolo's question actually, because it's so interesting. Chef Michael, you actually do a fusion of Mediterranean food, correct? And a
Yes.
Filipino fusion.
Yes.
And Chef, you're from Sicily. So
Yeah.
how do you guys mix Mediterranean food with Filipino food and maybe that Italian palate? And how do you cater that with Filipino food? I guess, Chef, yeah. we'll start with you.
For that, I'm starting with the traditional way of cooking it, and then I'm using mostly the ingredients from the Philippines, but with Italian techniques and some hint of their ingredient, like one ingredient to make a difference, but still you can taste. Oh, it's Filipino.
Yeah. So what's an example of a dish that you tweaked one ingredient for the Italian palate?
For adobos, we've done a lot, but
Is there any favorite that sticks out?
which was the one?
Adobo
The
dessert.
adobo dessert.
Adobo dessert. Yeah.
Adobo dessert?
Oh my goodness, tell us about that.
It was
Yeah.
4 a.m. and we're making our menu for our supper club.
Everything good happens at 4 a.m.
Paolo, they haven't slept yet.
Yes.
So setting that up. Yeah.
What are we going to do with the dessert? This is the last thing we need to make, and I don't want to do leche flan. I don't want to do ube. I don't want to do these things. And let's think out of the box. Let's be creative and let's see if we're gonna champion adobo or mess it up. But
And then it's just like because most of Filipino desserts are considered salads. So we have buko salad, dessert.
Yeah.
Macaroni salad, dessert.
That's true.
Fruit salad, dessert.
Yeah.
How about
Yeah.
so if a salad can become a dessert, why about a savory dish becoming a
Yeah.
dessert? So okay, let's try adobo.
So did y'all reduce the sauce and make it like a balsamic glaze, essentially?
Sorry, nagulat ako sa pagka-technical niya.
She's keen.
I love food! I want to be a chef in my other life.
I
For
just
the-
can't imagine like how the sauce is
Yeah,
gonna be like
okay.
a
So I'm trying to put it
dessert.
together.
Yeah.
let's imagine this thing. No? We have the soy sponge cake. We have the chicken and turmeric crumble. We have the chicken and turmeric crumble.
I'm trying to picture that.
We have the banana and miso gelato. We have the spicy chocolate ganache. And then we have the coconut and rum spuma.
With lakan.
Why did you guys
lakan?
make this for us?
Oh, lakan and is our
sounds
premium
amazing.
lampanog, actually.
Oh.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Yeah.
So basically, with Filipino, because we are with Filipino adobo, which we don't have a standard recipe for.
Yeah.
Okay.
There are 7,000 islands and 7,000 different variations, recipes, and so like, okay, let's make one
more.
one more
Adobo recipe.
a dessert.
But Filipino
amazing.
food is rooted in memory. So
Yes.
how
Yes.
do you determine which parts of traditional do you keep and then which parts do you reinvent?
What we're really doing is it's really hard to say if one thing is authentic now. Yeah. What we're doing now is we're embracing the influences. That's because that's what we do. We Filipinize food. Kung saan tayo malapit, kung anong ingredients na meron doon, kahit ibang lasa. If we're in Melbourne, iba ang toyo, iba ang karne, iba ang produce, but we
Okay.
still try to Filipinize it and make it adobo, So what we're doing is embracing those influences and continue with the evolution of food. So
Yeah, Raine, do you find it easier now to explain or at least tell the story of Filipino food now that you're working with them? Because I can only imagine how because it feels like you're translating sometimes, trying to translate experiences, trying to translate flavors. So just how easier it is it?
I think it's easier now. I think we mentioned last night that the pandemic really brought out the spirit of adventure and people taking risks I think globally with creators. So in Australia, what that has done is it allowed people to really pursue and follow their passion. So if you could see the thriving food scene in Melbourne, and going back to the original question on, I guess, how do you get people to try Filipino food? The way to do that is by what Chef Michael said, sticking true to the flavors, but at the same time, utilizing what's currently in that local market for us and making it really palatable and I think presentable.
Right.
People eat with their eyes, as you know.
Right.
And it's a very welcoming part for us, and it's I think there's a lot more people who are open to trying it as well. So I think we've seen it when Gordon opened up, and said that sisig from Melbourne was one of his favorite dishes and things like that. So we're just really trying to tell a piece of that story worldwide.
You guys mentioned earlier, chefs, that y'all do a supper club event
Yep.
or I guess events in Australia. How do you guys typically prepare the menu for those events?
Depends on how much time we got.
No sleep for it.
No sleep.
Yeah.
Normally, we try to think of which region we're gonna concentrate and which dishes we're gonna remake or redefine, and from there we will put in some techniques and some inspirations from our past experiences, and then put it all together. And
It's really a story. Sometimes,
Yeah.
okay, what story do we want to tell
exactly
right now?
Yeah.
What do we want to what do we want to tell our audience?
Yeah. What do we want to highlight this
Yeah.
time and all that.
And
Yeah.
from all your dishes that you guys have so far presented for the Australian audiences, which has probably taken you guys by surprise that Australians love the most?
I think the adobo dessert.
The
adobo
dessert
Adobo
is
dessert?
one, but if given three, the dehydrated champurrado and the baba ganoush ensalada.
Oh,
wow.
Baba
Dehydrated
ensalada.
champurrado.
I feel like I need to taste that too.
Hold on, before we
Apex,
guess it, you
yeah.
guys, we should have totally told them to bring food.
You can try out our dishes actually. So this is the adobros, What's the name of our tour, chefs?
Oh, y'all
Oh,
have
I'm
a tour.
excited.
Yeah, this
I'm excited. What's the name of the tour?
Okay, so
Yes.
It's a Roots to Revolution tour.
Yeah.
Cute.
We're having we're cooking for IFX this 22 to 25.
Yeah.
Yes.
We are having a collaboration with Guevara, Chef Jack, and Chef Lau.
Lau.
And then we're going to have a supper club at lobby 385.
And we're gonna do a
With-
cooking demo with Mamacita.
So
When
there's
is
a few
this?
What's the
things.
supper club?
It's the 21st.
Yeah.
So we're we've
I'm
got,
gonna be here. Oh my
We'll
God.
invite you.
Can you guys do another one in June?
Worst comes to worst, you guys are welcome to Melbourne.
I mean, honestly, we'll take that.
Yeah,
So, and
Your football team has to
you
stop
know
winning
we're-
though. But just looking at everything that you're doing here, coming back to the Philippines, we're always curious about when Filipino cuisine will become more mainstream in the global stage. A lot of people are looking at Filipino food as niche or a bit of an acquired taste sometimes. But then what do you feel does Filipino food need to do to be quote-unquote mainstream on the global stage, even though some people might argue that it's already there in that realm of possibilities?
For me, right now we're creating momentum in a global scene. But to be more effective, I think each one of us should be proud of our food. We don't have to do much to showcase our food. Or you don't have to be a chef to be an advocate for Filipino food. You just have to be proud to share to everyone. Like a simple video, I cook this for my friends and this and that. Or just cook for your loved ones and your friends. And that's a simple way to advocate your culture and your food.
Well, before we wrap up, because we're running out of time, let's start with Raine. What advice would you like to give young creatives who want to put Filipino scene on the map?
I think you just have to follow your passion. The one thing that I always say, because I'm a mom of two, I've got two young boys, Kaizen and Kirian, is I would want them to choose the path that fulfills them. So if that's something that you really resonate with, you need to stick to it and make it happen. I feel that the 18 years and my 20 years in Australia, all those experiences and telling our Filipino stories and having that trust really just is all about, for me, wanting to help and wanting to really have that voice. And regardless of whether you have, here, like 2 people listening to you, 200, 2,000, it's not about that. It's about making a statement and ensuring that in your own little way you can make a difference. I think that's
The
best
amazing
time.
thing is that we just got the word that they want to talk to them more. So we're not going to wrap up yet.
Okay.
Stop sending them away more.
When they told me cut, I wasn't sure. When people are talking about Filipino food, the first thing that comes to mind, syempre, adobo, right?
Yes.
Adobo,
Yeah.
lumpia, pancit. But what do you think, Chef Michael and Chef Morris, what do you think is that Filipino food, Filipino dish that is so underrated, that deserves just as much hype? Kasi people are always thinking, oh, Filipino food, adobo.
Oh, and you
lumpia
gotta
or
say
pancit.
lumpia like Mo does. Mo?
Lumpia.
Lumpia and
Yeah.
pancit.
And pancit. But ano yung underrated na dish na also deserves that hype?
For me, underrated dish. Ito lagi kong kinakausap sa kanila kung paano natin i-champion. But I think he's doing it now too. But is tinola.
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 Because it's one of the only foods na katulad sa other countries where we're mixing fruit and we're mixing
Yes, yung raw
protein.
papaya.
Yes, we got
Yeah,
papaya,
yeah,
we
yeah.
got
Right.
we got vegetables there, and we got the chicken.
Yeah.
And
Tastes like Hainanese rice too,
I
but
told-
not deconstructed.
And I
yeah.
asked him, what is more Filipino than tinola? You're using
Yeah.
Filipino chicken, you're using Filipino papaya and
Yeah.
malunggay,
It's like our chicken soup for the soul.
Yeah.
It's a Filipino version.
So now you're trying to put the twist to your
Yeah.
tinola. Okay.
Yeah, I have,
Yeah, so what are you guys doing with that?
I have a crab tinola.
Crab tinola?
Yeah, crab tinola.
Okay.
The same elements, the stock was made with the chicken stock.
Okay.
And reduce it down with and emulsify with some coconut milk and ginger. Then I've made like a polpetta with the crab meat, and still we've got the essence of papaya and sayote in it. And when you taste everything together, it's still tinola. It's still comfort food. It will bring you back to the
Kailangan may
Philippines.
malunggay.
Yes.
Yes, there is the malunggay.
Malunggay, tita.
And you also open up the papaya and sayote debate.
That is true.
Yeah. And you guys can actually taste that. We are bringing
Yeah,
that
yeah.
Tinola?
Yeah.
to Guevara's.
Oh.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Really?
So
exciting.
yeah.
Good, perfect. I mean, like, first of all, I want to take an antihistamine already just to try that out. But when you talk about reconnecting, obviously you guys have been overseas a lot. You've bested Italians at their own game. If I'm not mistaken, he beat out 400 Italian
lot.
chefs
Yeah.
in Italian cooking. If I'm
In
not
their
mistaken,
soil.
in Italy. All right, that's that guy.
Chef Morris.
Just how important is it for the both of you to come back, reconnect, remember everything, learn again what's happening here in the Philippines in terms of the culinary scene? Because you guys are very global. But coming back home, I'm sure, means a lot as well.
I think you always need to ground yourself. Even if you went far away, you still need to go back and know more things about your culture. You need to be more Filipino when you're outside your country, and the only way to do that is to come back and and cherish your own country. You know,
Like the roots to
the
revolution.
roots to revolution. That's
You
why
go
we're
back to
here.
your roots. Yeah.
Chef Morris, what's maybe, with that being said, what's the most surprising thing you learned about maybe Filipinos in general or about your roots as a Filipino during this whole journey?
As a Filipino, I think the thing that I've learned about Filipino is that wherever we go, we're the warmest people you will ever you will ever meet, and we are the friendliest one, really.
Morris, you agree?
Yeah.
Are you sure? Are you sure about that?
It's different inside the kitchen, but yeah.
Well, they call it the hot kitchen for a reason.
Yes.
Guys, I think we're actually out of time.
Yeah, now I know we're wrapping up.
Yeah.
We might not be able to, baka magalit pa kayo sa akin.
All
Wrap up
right.
na ba?
Oh, no.
We can talk
We can go on more.
Hey, I love it. See, they love you guys.
So wait, they're
Okay,
gonna
go.
be at Guevara's, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
When is this again? Wait, I need to
Okay.
write down the
So-
dates because I'm gonna be there.
Yeah. No, we'll
okay.
invite you. We'll
Okay.
invite you. So we are, Chef, so we are at Guevara's on the 20th. So, but our dishes would be available the entire month. So, tara na po sa Guevara's
At
with Chef
Guevara's.
Lau and Chef Jack. So, yes. So,
You've
so
never
Paolo,
been?
no excuse. You have to calm down.
Guys, I'm flying to Boracay next week.
I know. I'm leaving for Italy
Ganito,
on Sunday.
Can you guys
I'm gonna be
like...
gone, but I'll
on.
be here. I'm gonna
Okay.
try.
Yeah, and we'll like take, FaceTime
I'm
with
curious
everyone.
about that champurrado as well. Are you guys making that?
Guys, look, just fly to Boracay na lang. Mag-Boracay na lang kayo.
We've got the 21st with Chef Kalel at Lobby 385. So, wait. Actually, we'll see, but that's already sold out. Thank you so much, mga kababayan. Our supper club
Are
is
y'all
sold
going to
out.
extend up to June? Maybe mid-June? Or no?
No,
Asking
unfortunately.
for a friend.
But we're available at IFEX,
Yeah.
obviously, and we're cooking with chefs from Dubai, Chef Noel and Chef Dabo as well.
Yeah.
So watch that space.
Chef Noel, friend of the show. I like how this is becoming a food show.
Yeah,
Right.
We'll invite
Food show, but
everyone.
there are no
Yeah.
food samples.
So we have to
We were not informed, guys.
We highlight the chefs
For our guest
first.
coordinator, you guys need to tell all the chefs to
Yes.
bring food.
Yeah.
Chefs,
We'll make sure.
I have a
Yeah.
challenge for you guys before we let you go. Are we wrapping up na talaga? Not yet.
Not
okay.
yet.
So no, I have a challenge for you guys. It might take a while. I want to see how you guys handle grace under pressure as chefs and how creative you guys are. So if you were to make tinola, because you guys mentioned tinola as a dessert, how would you guys do it?
That's a dessert.
Oh my
As
God,
a
I
dessert.
can't
Oh, wow.
wrap my head around tinola dessert.
Because you already made
yeah.
adobo dessert.
It's
Why
not 4 a.m.
tinola?
It's almost 8 a.m. It's a different story.
But they haven't slept. Maybe the
Yeah.
creative juices are gonna flow.
I
Let's
think
see.
let's do it. Let's break down the tinola
Components.
and the
Yeah, go,
components.
let's see your
and the-
process. Go ahead, guys.
I am going to start with the easiest one. I'm
Okay.
going to make papaya ice cream, papaya gelato. Your turn.
So I think I'm gonna make a papaya panna cotta. And then we can make a crumble out of the sayote.
The ginger's gotta be there.
There, it's going to
Yeah,
be.
yeah.
Let's put that in the crumble.
Or you guys can do crystallized ginger for
Girls, wait lang sila. Wait lang.
part of the process.
Hindi muna, guys. Bros nga, adult bros. Okay?
Actually, we can.
Adult bros with sis.
Actually, we can do it in a way we're in. Okay, let's each give one an ingredient from the tinola and what you going to do with the
Raine, ang
tinola.
hirap, no?
Yeah.
Chill lang
You
tayo
and I are
Yeah,
spirit animals.
I see you. I see you.
Rain, let's try.
No. All right, so let's move on.
Maybe we can have some like.
No, this is what we're gonna do. And so adobo dessert going back will be available at lobby. So let's see, Well, we'll talk offline. We have R&D after this one, so if you guys wanna calm down.
It's for real.
Chef Kalel, today.
real.
Wait,
Chef
Malay
Kalel,
mo,
we're inviting the Billionario News channel team, Paolo, Monique, and Anne. We have R&D straight after this one, so you guys
Wow.
can
Yo,
join us. If you would like, chefs, right? They
Yes,
can,
yes.
we are opening up the house. If you wanna, the prod team wants to come in, take some, shots, and you guys get to experience a
And
little
I
bit.
feel like
be
if
good.
this tinola dessert happens, it's a collab with It's a Beautiful
Yes,
Day.
yes, even
We'll bring this.
Oh
We'll
my
bring this in the
goodness.
set.
Hold on, we're up to something right now.
Tinola dessert.
That's
Kung
that's
mag-viral yung dish na to and it starts off from here, this is like the best content.
Yeah, we're doing it.
Now we really have to wrap up.
I'm not saying that.
Now we really have to wrap up because I
Done.
asked the right people. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. For those who want
Thank
to
you.
follow you
Thank
and of
you.
course learn more about your projects moving forward, even beyond this particular trip, where can they do so? So, Raine, I think you're as Miss Manager.
That's his manager. Well, before I go to that, I'd also want to say that the Roots to Revolution tour is powered by NutriBullet. So thank you so much, Wars, for really supporting Filipino flavors. And we'd really love to thank all our chef partners, Chef Jack, Chef Lau, Chef Kalel, Mamacitas, and obviously the IFEX team. So come down when? To IFEX chefs?
From 22nd, come down when
Yeah.
we're kicking the 23rd.
23rd at 11
a.m.
a.m. That's what's happening. But follow us at adobros.au on Instagram, and I'm sure you'll
Facebook.
see us floating around. And we just really also want to thank Abby for our
Yeah.
upcoming collab video. We also want to thank Miss Nancy Lumen, the Adobo Queen. We're doing something with her and a few others. So it's a really full schedule. So maraming salamat po sa pagtangkilik sa Adobros, and we will see you, Anne.
Yes,
I don't know about
100%,
Monique and Paolo.
100%. And
So there
with
you
that,
go.
ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Again, they are the Adobros, Chef Michael Pastrana and Amor Danzen Catanghal alongside Ms. Raine Laysico. Thank you so much for
Thank you
joining.
guys.
Such a pleasure.
Amazing.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Maraming salamat.
All right, so when we come